Help a girl out, won't you?
The story starts in Paris with a hitman everyone calls the Paris Killer. He's known for never making mistakes in his work. When he gets a new job, he finds an office across from a hotel so he can watch his target easily. This killer lives by strict rules. He's so careful that he never breaks any laws. He knows that even one tiny mistake could show who he really is and destroy his perfect record. He's super careful not to leave fingerprints or DNA anywhere because the smallest error could get him caught. After watching his target for 5 days with nothing happening, he calls his boss and wants to stop, but his boss tells him to keep watching a bit longer. Even though he doesn't want to, he agrees to stay for 2 more days. That evening, while getting his weapons ready, he hears someone walking near his door. He gets ready to fight, but it's just someone delivering a message. The delivery person puts an envelope on the floor and leaves quickly without saying anything. Later that night, he wakes up suddenly and sees someone moving in a room on the top floor. He realizes his target has finally shown up. He quickly gets his rifle ready and takes aim. He thinks about everything, the angle, how strong the wind is, and anything else that might affect his shot. Everything seems perfect for a clean hit, but when he pulls the trigger, something goes wrong. He misses the target and hits a woman who is standing nearby instead. He knows everything has gone wrong, so he quickly cleans up any proof he was there and runs away. He rushes to the airport and leaves behind a big mess that can never be fixed. Trying to get out of the building fast, he made sure to wipe away all signs that he was ever there. After leaving Paris, he called his boss to tell them he didn't finish the job. His boss warned him there might be trouble, but the killer didn't seem worried. He coldly said he would fix everything soon. While looking around, he spotted someone strange nearby. He felt in his gut this person might be a hired fighter sent to kill him. Feeling danger all around, he got ready to handle whatever might happen next. The killer got a room at a hotel close to the airport and got ready to deal with this unexpected visitor. To keep himself safe, he made a simple alarm. He put a glass on the doorknob and a metal plate at the bottom of the door to hear if anyone tried to come in. He sat quietly with his knife, waiting and listening. By midnight, he realized he was wrong. The stranger was just a normal person traveling. The next morning, he left the hotel and flew to his hideaway house in the Dominican Republic. When he arrived, he saw cigarette ends and strange footprints, clear signs someone had been there before him. Once he knew someone had broken in, he grabbed his weapon and snuck inside, moving without making a sound. The house was a mess, furniture knocked over, broken dishes all over the floor, and blood marks on the walls. He started to feel really scared. Then he got a phone call that made him freeze with fear. His girlfriend was hurt and in the hospital. He rushed to see her and met Marcus, someone in her family. Marcus told him the terrible truth. 2 strangers had come looking for him but found her instead. They hurt her badly, trying to make her tell them where he was. Even though they caused her terrible pain, she never told them anything about him. In one brave move, she managed to break free just enough to stab one attacker in the leg with a knife, making them run away. After talking with his girlfriend and understanding what happened, the killer made sure she got very good medical care. He gave the doctors extra money to take special care of her. Then he went back to his house and found a hidden box. Inside were fake papers, lots of money, and many weapons. The memory of how much his girlfriend suffered made him very angry. He wanted revenge. His first clue was that the bad people came in a green taxi. Holding on to this small bit of information, he started looking for them. Soon he found the taxi company that used green cars. With careful planning, he got closer to finding the driver who brought those people. Step by step, very carefully, he moved toward his target, paying attention to every small detail. At night, the killer sneaked into the company's office building. He looked through all the papers until he found the taxi driver's name, Leo Rodriguez. Once he knew who to look for, he followed Leo everywhere, waiting for the right time to catch him. When the time was right, he quietly got into Leo's taxi and waited. As soon as Leo sat in the driver's seat, he felt something cold and hard against his head. A gun. Leo was so scared he couldn't move. Under the killer's scary stare, Leo nervously told him everything he knew about the man and woman he drove the day before. His hands were shaking on the steering wheel as he realized something terrible. This wasn't a normal person asking questions. This was a dangerous hunter who wouldn't stop until he got answers. Too scared to do anything else, the driver obeyed all commands. His hands shook as he admitted he picked up those 2 people from the airport. That was all the information the killer needed. Without waiting, he killed the driver so there would be no witnesses, then disappeared into the darkness. When he arrived in New Orleans, he rented a white truck and drove right away to one of his secret hiding places. Inside, he opened a locked storage space that had fake license plates, guns, and bullets. Everything was perfectly organized, ready for him to use. Working very carefully, he started getting ready for his next move. Early in the morning, he went to a hardware store and bought a nail gun that works with air, a garbage can, and other tools he needed. With everything ready, he drove to the middle of town toward Dolores's building. The security wasn't very good. There was only one camera at the entrance. This made it easy for him to sneak inside without anyone seeing him. He dressed up like a doorman and waited patiently for the courier to arrive, blending in perfectly with his surroundings. When the courier finally came, he timed everything just right. He slipped through the door before it closed and nobody noticed him. Once inside, he stayed calm and waited for the perfect moment. Then, moving very quickly, he pulled out his gun and pointed it at the secretary. His cold look made it clear she shouldn't try anything. She was too scared to do anything but what he said. As soon as the courier left, the killer moved fast. He went into lawyer Hodge's office, the person who gave him his jobs. Without waiting, he tied up Hodge and his helper. Then he broke all the computers and tablets, destroying all the information on them. Then he turned to Hodge and demanded to know who his clients were, but Hodge wouldn't tell him anything. Instead, Hodge looked at him knowingly and reminded him of something scary. His mistake could not be forgiven, and there would be consequences. "No one will forgive you," Hodge warned him. "The only way out is to confess. It's your only chance to make things right in a world that will never forget what you did." The killer didn't wait a second. He lifted the nail gun and shot, sending a nail deep into Hodge's chest. His voice was cold as ice when he demanded a name. He gave Hodge just minutes to answer, but before the lawyer could say even one word, he died quietly. Dolores saw what happened and knew she couldn't get away. She looked at the killer calmly, accepting what would happen. She asked for a quick death without pain. She hoped that at least her death would give her children the money from her life insurance. One last way to protect them when she couldn't run from her fate anymore. The killer didn't hesitate. He gave the secretary what she asked for, not because he felt sorry for her, but because she knew what he needed to know. Only she knew who the client was, the person who caused his girlfriend's pain. He was ready to take her life to get closer to his goal. After he killed her, the killer and secretary left the office building without anyone seeing them. They went to her house. The next part of his careful plan was about to start. After throwing away the lawyer's body in the trash, the killer came back to find Dolores trying hard to escape, but her hands were tied tight, so she couldn't get free. She was still under his control. Accepting that she couldn't get away, she gave up and told him the important details that pointed to a client in Chicago. Once he got what he wanted, the killer acted fast. With a quick, practiced move, he broke her neck and pushed her down the stairs. He carefully made it look like an accident. His work was perfect. No loose ends, no second chances. The killer carefully cleaned away every sign, getting rid of all proof, including the lawyer's body, until nothing was left. A few days later, he headed to Florida, determined to find his first target, a man people called Brute. The killer carefully watched Brute's house, studying everything. He noticed Brute wasn't by himself. He had company, and more importantly, a mean guard dog that would cause problems. Moving quickly, the killer stopped at a grocery store nearby. He bought ground beef and sleeping pills. With his plan ready, he went back to Brute's house to start the next part of his mission. That night, Brute went with his thief friends to a casino. They gambled and had fun, spending some of the money they had stolen. Many hours later, Brute left his friends and went home alone. This was exactly what the killer had been waiting for. Moving very carefully, he first took care of the guard dog. He threw some ground beef mixed with sleeping pills toward it. In just a few minutes, the once dangerous animal got quiet and fell into a deep sleep from the drugs. With the dog no longer a problem, the killer sneaked into the building. He moved quietly, making no sound with each step. He knew exactly where Brute was, in the bathroom. The hunt was almost over. When the killer walked in, Brute jumped at him, thinking he was just a thief. They fought hard, both men using all their strength, but the killer didn't want to stay long. This was just the first step in his revenge plan. As he was leaving the house, a new danger appeared. The dog had woken up. Its angry growls promised to tear apart anyone who didn't belong there. Barely escaping from the dog, the killer acted fast. He threw a firebomb through the window and watched as flames grew quickly, burning away any proof he was ever there. His job here was done. With his next target waiting in New York, he moved fast. He bought a regular ticket, washed off all the blood in a cold shower, and got ready for the next part of his never-ending hunt. The killer rented a plain, ordinary car that wouldn't stand out in the busy city. As he drove to the home of the specialist, the woman who helped attack his girlfriend, he carried fake papers with a false name. He didn't know what she looked like, so he waited patiently. His patience worked. A blonde woman came out of the building. Once he spotted his target, he followed her through the streets. He stayed far enough behind so she wouldn't notice him. When they stopped at a traffic light, he had the perfect chance to attack. His hand moved toward his gun, ready to use it. But something made him stop. Instead of shooting her, he decided to try something different. He let her go and followed her to a restaurant where he planned to meet her face to face. The specialist felt very scared when she saw him. She knew he was the killer looking for revenge because of what she had done. She was terrified but tried to hide it, quickly making excuses. She talked about orders she had to follow and things she couldn't control. But the killer didn't feel sorry for her. Being kind wasn't part of who he was, and he would not forgive her. Even though he didn't really believe her, he pretended to go along with her. He accepted when she offered him a drink, then casually suggested they go for a walk. She felt cold fear run through her body. At that moment, she understood she didn't have much time left to live. With death so close, every breath, every step, and every heartbeat became very special to her. She hoped for one small thing, that the killer would end her life in a beautiful place, giving her a little bit of respect in her final moments. In desperation, she tried one last trick to trap him, but he was too quick. Before she could do anything, he fired his gun once, ending her life instantly. With her death, the killer discovered who was really behind everything: Mr. Claiborne, a billionaire who lived in a very well-protected estate in Chicago. Not wasting any time, he left for Chicago, carefully planning how to find his targets. When he found where his targets were, he snuck into the underground parking lot. There he found an electronic lock blocking his way. This was just another problem to solve, another security layer to get past. For the killer, this was only the beginning of what he needed to do next. He got a copy of a key card and bought a membership at the billionaire's gym. He fit right in with Claiborne's close friends and their routine. To make sure everything went smoothly, he also bought a brand new gun that couldn't be traced and had never been used before. He quietly moved money into a different account. By morning, a package came with the key card he needed. Moving quickly, the killer started his plan. He snuck into the security guard's locker at the gym and took the card so he could get in easily. Then, while everyone else was busy exercising, he quietly left and went back to Claiborne's house to continue his mission. When the killer finally faced the billionaire and demanded answers, the truth was surprising. The billionaire said he wasn't directly involved in what happened. He had just been paid to get rid of a business rival, a job he took without asking questions. He didn't know about all the problems it would cause. After the sniper failed to kill the target, the lawyer asked for more money to hide all signs of their plan. As the killer listened, he realized the man in front of him wasn't the mastermind he had been hunting. The billionaire wasn't lying. He was just a rich man caught in the middle of something he thought he controlled. When the killer understood this wasn't the person truly responsible for hurting his girlfriend, he made a choice. He would let the billionaire live. His revenge wasn't finished yet, and the real person behind everything was still out there. The killer gave Claiborne one final warning. If he ever tries to find him or get revenge, there will be no mercy next time. Then he disappeared from Chicago and went back to his safe house to remove any remaining proof of what he had done. In the last scene, his girlfriend leaves the hospital and they escape to a peaceful beach.